Yo, what is up, YouTube? Yo, it's Skrillex. I'm coming back. It's been a while since I've uploaded, honestly. I, got out of the Navy, been doing a bunch of stuff, changing my living situation and everything, so I got to play the game in EVO back in July, and then had to take care of a bunch of real-life stuff, and now I'm back, and I played on PC on release, and then I came to PS5 just now, so now I have a, capture card, and getting back to making content and stuff. Anyways, the first video I wanted to go ahead and do was a controller differences video. There is so many differences when it comes to like using standard, using classic, how to make classic feel a little bit better. Maybe some reasons you should be using standard over classic, things like that. Right now, I do use classic, and I'm not gonna lie, there is a lot of benefits and negatives to both classic and standard. Like, there's a lot of benefits and negatives to both, so it's hard to say like which one you should really use. I would definitely say if you care about some of the flashier movement, you're gonna have to stay on classic. And it's not even like functionally that good for winning matches, but like if you like to have that like extra like style in your gameplay, like doing like cool like diagonal dashes and stuff, you're gonna need to stay on classic, and I'll show you guys why in a little bit during this video. But yeah, you're gonna need to stay on classic if you care about stuff like that. But standard, like, I'm pretty sure at least functionally you're fine on standard, and actually standard has a lot of advantages over classic, but a big one I'll tell you guys right now is the movement is better on classic. Alright, anyways, so I play on classic. I keep my directional buttons on standard, which basically means I can change and change characters, transform and stuff using the D-pad and the face buttons instead of the R3 and L3 buttons. So I'd recommend turning that on if you're on classic. And this also makes it so you don't spin the sticks. You can just mash square, and it's a lot better. I keep this stuff on 5. Keep vibration on. And then one thing I do, if you're on PS5, go ahead and go over here to accessibility settings. I like to have my guard button on L1. So I keep my guard button on circle in the game. But what I do in the PS5 is... Here we go. Yeah, what I do in the PS5, I have a DualSense Edge, so it's a little bit different. But, see, I have circle and L1 switched, basically. So it's really nice. Because I think that lets me vanish a little bit easier. It lets me use a lot more of the face buttons without feeling like I also need to use circle to guard. So the downside to that is L1 is actually like my menu button. Like if I want to go back in the menu, I press L1 instead of circle. But it's okay. Okay, so now for standard, right? Let's go to standard. So I personally... I'm just gonna tell you guys right now. If you're used to Tenkaichi, if you're used to Raging Blast, you can keep it how it is, right? But personally, I think a lot of people that watch my channel probably played Tenkaichi. So if you're used to Tenkaichi, or if you just want to try a new control scheme, which I think is pretty cool, I would set it up like this. So all this can stay like that, and then starting with ascend jump, you want to put that on R1. And that's going to replace guard. So guard's going to be L1 now. Descend, you want to put on R2. So now your key charge is going to be L2. Revenge counter R3 is fine. That's fine. Melee is still square. Key blast still triangle. Super perception is circle. And what's really nice about super perception being on circle, right? If you try to... Like, say someone's guarding and they deflect a key blast, and then, like, they're not going to be able to super perception on classic because it's part of the guard button, right? But you're already deflecting. Well, on standard, it's its own button. So it's a huge advantage over classic. Like, that is a major advantage. Like, honestly, I'm going to be real with you guys. Like, 95 to, like, 99%, I think everybody should play on standard. I just have like a weird play style, and it benefits me to play on classic because of some of the movement you can do. But I don't think that like I would say that everyone should just play on classic because of that. I think like standard has like way more advantages to it, and there's like so many things that are really annoying with classic. But standard does have some disadvantages too, which I'll get into. But anyway, so yeah, revenge counter R3, perception circle or super perception circle. The skills are on the D-pad, and then, you know, the transformation buttons, the face buttons. Okay, yeah. Okay, yep, that's everything. Alright, cool. Yeah, we don't need anything else. So, first, I think I'm going to go in-game with Classic first. Just to show you some of the cool stuff you can do with Classic. So yeah, let's go to Super Training. Alright, so... Okay. So, I want to show you guys something. So if I double tap R1, it does this, right? If I double tap R2, it does that. On standard controls, you have to charge key and then ascend or descend. But if you notice, there's kind of a startup to it when I'm double tapping. So the standard version is instant, so that's a benefit for standard. But it's nice to have double tap on classic, and the reason it's nice is because on classic, so if I do a regular Dragon Dash, right, like a directional Dragon Dash, it looks like this, right? Now I've shown you what that looks like going up and down, right? Now imagine if you're doing like, you're holding the up button, but you're like going like up and to the right. It's kind of like a diagonal, so it would look like this. You see what I'm saying, right? Like maybe if I'm right up next to him and I'll go like backwards diagonal, you'll understand what I'm saying? See? Okay, so that type of movement where it's like starting off as a diagonal like that, like this. Like I'm literally like making a type of like X, you know what I'm saying? Like with the Dragon Dash almost, it's like... Yeah, anyways. So that type of movement where it's like starting off at a curve like that and like being able to switch and then, you know, like ascend and stuff out of that. And you can also X dash out of it too. Like I can do like that. I can do diagonal dash into, you know, regular Dragon Dash into X dash into Dragon Ascend, or diagonal dash into X dash into Dragon Ascend. Like all types of stuff, man. So it's like this crazy movement, right? That's just, and you can guard after a lot of stuff, like. Yeah, it's really cracked. You can do stuff like this, for example, like, so if I stun somebody. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, obviously guard is its own button on standard also. So on classic, you have to step in before you grab. Or not guard, grab is its own button. Yeah, so on classic, you have to step in before you grab. With Giants, actually, because instead of stepping in, they do a short dash inside the barrier, you actually have to use all of your ki before you can grab on Giants on classic. So that's a huge disadvantage. Like, really, I mean, the only advantage that classic really has is just, you know, this movement is like the main thing. But hold on, let me make sure I'm not missing anything with classic before we move on to standard. Yeah, sometimes your combos can drop even if you're mashing on classic also, which is kind of annoying. Sometimes your buttons can lock up, so your like L2 circle skills like Piccolo's Wild Sense or something would come out instead of an ult. Sometimes, like if I was trying to do special beam cannon, sometimes it would do a dash for some reason. It's really weird. Insta-Spark can come out as a deflect. So, yeah, take that for what you will. Grab comes out instead of a homing dash. That's a huge issue because sometimes, right, it'll be like... Fuck, I'm trying to grab without... There we go. Okay, well, imagine that grab like whiffing the air, right? And you're trying, it's just sitting there whiffing over and over again, and you're trying to do this dash. You're basically trying to do this dash, and you're just mashing X, but it's grabbing over and over again. That's like a huge issue. And that happens actually because if you guys remember in the old game, sometimes you could be locked into stepping in. Like when you're outside of the stepping barrier, you would still be stepping if you're mashing X. Well, that same thing happens with grab on classic mode in this game. So it's really annoying if you're trying to homing dash and you get locked into that. And you can avoid it by, inputting everything correctly or like letting go of the controller for a second. But it's just annoying that you have to deal with that if it does happen. It's annoying. Yeah, so perception is the same input as block, so Ki Blast forces a deflect. So I mean that's pretty much like, it's ripped, dude. It's just Ki Blast forces a deflect. It's really annoying. Yeah, Dragon Ascend and Descend can also like sometimes. For me, it's not really happening right now, but I've seen it happen to people where their Dragon Descend or Ascend can stop sometimes. It's not happening right now. I think I'm at the skybox right now? Yeah, I am. Yeah, so it seems to be working right now. But that delay is annoying if you see that like little startup it has. On standard, it doesn't have that startup. It's a lot faster. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for Classic. I mean, so the main benefit, again, is like this dash, or my bad, like, that dash, and which that type of movement, or like being able to do this type of combo, something like that. So that is the benefit of Classic, and it's really just movement, man. I mean, there's a few other things that Classic does good, but it's really just movement, man. So we're going to get into Standard now, and I've played a lot less time on Standard, so... Oh, crap. Into main menu. Yeah, I played a lot less time on Standard, so you have to give me a second with this. Alright, so let's switch this up. Alright. Alright, so we're loaded in. Okay, so with Standard, right, if I mash R1, this happens. It looks kind of funny, actually. Same thing happens if I mash R2. You can kind of do this, which is pretty cool. Mashing the Ascend to Descend. So, but look how much faster the Dragon Ascend is, though, on this. You see how it's, like, instant. I mean, it's just completely instant. Like, you see how much faster that, like, directional change is on Standard. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I think it's pretty wild. But, see, I can change up to down really fast with no delay. But, in exchange, I can't do that curve dash that I was doing on Classic. I can kind of do it with X dash. See, with X dash, I can kind of do it. See? But that costs a lot more ki. I want to be able to do a Dragon Dash, because Dragon Dash costs way less ki. Yeah, I mean, you can still do this flank, but it's like, it costs so much ki, dude. That's the problem. Yeah, I mean, it costs a lot of ki, and it just feels like very choppy. Like you can't go how you want to go. Oh wait, So you can kind of, like, mid-dash, you can curve it. But the thing is, you can't start off like that. So I'd have to go, like... Wait, how do I do this? Wait, hold on. Oh, okay, I have to let go of R2 to do it. Okay, so, like, for example, like that. I wonder if I'm really good at the timing, if it can actually work out like Classic. Hold on. Okay, kind of. You can kind of do it. Like, I think you guys see the vision, right? Like, I can kind of do it. I think if you just practice this, you could actually get it down. Like, you saw right there, I was kind of getting faster at it. So, okay, maybe with practice, Standard actually can be like Classic. I actually learned something making this video. That's really cool. So, yeah, maybe if you guys practice that tech I was just showing... Standard could potentially be as good as Classic. That's pretty cool. I've been using Classic because I assumed that Standard couldn't do that movement, but I just found out it can. But it's still a little bit less optimal. Wait, how did I do that? Wait, I did that like instantly. Wait, hold on. You guys saw that just now? Hold on. No. I did it. I did it. I did it. Okay, I figured it out. Alright, so it is possible. It's just really, really hard. Alright, yeah, it's really hard. It is possible, though. So, okay, yeah, so Standard is the objectively better thing. You know, you can grab with guard plus square. Yeah, so I can grab with guard plus square. You know, you got perception on circle. We got revenge counter on R3. I mean, you just have more buttons to do more things. Sometimes grab can come out of the vanish, like if you're going into a combo, just because, you know, you're trying to, after you're vanishing, you're pressing guard, and then you're trying to combo right after that, so sometimes it comes out as a grab. But yeah, you can't immediately ascend and descend, like... I mean, you can, though. I kind of just found out you can, but it's really tight. And it's not guaranteed. That's the thing. And also that you don't get the same angle. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it's not as good as Classic for that movement. But it is, you can kind of get away with some things if you get the timing down. So it is interesting. Like, if you go ahead and use Standard, there are some things you can do. So I think that's cool. You can't spam homing dash, really. You guys like that? Anyways, yeah. So, if you go sparking with SSJ Trunks, apparently there's a glitch where you can't move after sparking sometimes, so that sucks. But, yeah, anyways, guys, that's pretty much the main differences between the two schemes. I think most people, I think, should be using, excuse me. Most people, I think, should be using Standard, and there are some rare cases if you really get good with the movement, maybe, and that's like a really big staple of your playstyle. I could see the argument for using Classic, but that is what I do. I use Classic right now. I might switch to Standard sometimes, but yeah, for now I'm using Classic. So Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'm definitely going to be uploading more. I'm going to be streaming. I think I'm going to start my Twitch stream tomorrow, probably. So, yeah, I've got this money match I'm entering also. I think that's going to be really cool on November 15th. I'll post some stuff about that on Twitter or something, and I'll talk about that in stream tomorrow, too. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video, and yeah, everybody have a great day. Thank you.